Have you ever wondered, how do I improve my 3D printing experience without spending any more money on it? Well, that is possible, and you are in the right place because I made a list of just that. Upgrades without no extra spending needed? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it is actually real. These are some things you can do right now with most of the things that you probably already have laying around. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing we want to do is check the tension on our belts. Most often these enclosed printers, like I have X, Y and Z belts that need to be tensioned or loosened depending on how they come from the box. This is usually really easy. There's a couple screws that you need to loosen and then retighten, and there's a spring that automatically adjusts the tightness of the belt. For example, in my Anycubic S1, there's a common thing that Z-axis belt is too tight and you need to loosen it, and that can cause a little bit of noise when moving the Z-axis up and down, and also can, in the worst cases, cause some inconsistencies in the layers. So for example, in this Anycubic one, the Z-axis is adjusted by loosening this one screw in the bottom and then tightening it back again. For the X and Y axis, in both of these printers they have two screws on the back, on left and right side, and then you just loosen and retighten those and the spring handles the rest. So quite simple fix, but this can help you with unwanted noise and also some print quality issues. So for tip number 2, you want to fix the imperfections on your printer. And what I mean by that is, depending on your printer, you might not have everything perfect as it is from the box. That's why you see so many upgrades to your printers that are sometimes 3D printed and sometimes you don't need to print anything. So for my K1C, for example, I have a little bit of a gap between the door and the screen, which I printed a small piece that covers that hole to make the enclosed printer even more enclosed. The second thing I have is this lid riser, because without it the cable chain or Bowden tube guide is touching this lid, which is a bit of a design flaw, but you can fix it by printing this simple upgrade. Another one, like in my K1C, the Bowden tube is rubbing against the left side of the printer if you don't flip the Bowden tube guides upside down, which basically eliminates the problem. So depending on the printer you have, you might have different problems, but most of those problems either have a free fix without printing, or you have to print some kind of a 3D printed fix, but basically it costs no money to fix these things. So for number 3, I know most of you are guilty of this, but it's stop using your generic default settings for the filament that you are using. Yes, this might be the easiest way to start printing, but usually you're leaving a lot of speed, quality and strength on the table. The defaults, they might work for same brand filament and same brand printer, but there's so many different printers, manufacturers and filaments that there's no way that anyone can make a perfect profile for every single material there are. One easy way to fix this is by going into your filament manufacturer's website, finding the material that you're using, and then usually they list the values that you should be using to print with that filament. But sometimes just looking into the manufacturer's website is not enough, and that's why at number 4 we have calibrating your filaments. There are many different materials, and even inside those specific materials there's differences in the materials. For example, there's high-speed, matte, pro, silk or carbon fiber filaments, which means they all have different properties. And sometimes even same brand, material, and model of filament. If it's a different color, you might have different properties and you need to calibrate to find out the differences that you need to print it with. So what I do recommend is when you have a new brand, material, or model of filament, you calibrate temperature, flow rate, and pressure advance at the very least to hopefully stay away from most of the issues. And for tip number 5, basic maintenance. And no, I don't mean that you should replace every single part that there is on your printer, but everybody should perform basic maintenance every now and then. That means cleaning debris from the printer, cleaning your print bed with mild soap and water, cleaning the rods, rails and the guide screws, and also lubing them if that's needed. You should inspect the nozzle condition and also change the nozzles or maybe the whole hot end if that's needed. And then, of course, every now and then you still need to check the belt tension, even if you checked it earlier, to make sure that they're still at the correct tightness. And your printer manufacturer probably has maintenance recommendations and when to do it on their webpage about your printer, so you can check that to find out your exact printer and what it needs and when. And as a bonus tip, this is something that you do have to spend money on, but it's not extra money spent since you'll need this either way to print. And it's finding the right filament for your printer. Like I said, not all filaments are equal. There's differences even within the same brand, same material and the same product line. Some ship with plastic spools, some ship with cardboard spools, some ship without any spools and they're just refill reels. Personally, I prefer plastic spools over cardboard because cardboard can dent easily and that can cause jams in your multi-filament system. Of course, there's also differences in prices between materials. So what I recommend is you try a couple different materials and a couple different brands and then calibrate them and test out which one works best for what you do, and then start using one brand so you don't have to calibrate everything all the time. Or at least when you do, it's gonna be easier because you've already done it. So yeah, I hope some of those tips were helpful and maybe they relieve some of the headaches that you hopefully won't be having on your 3D printing journey. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and we'll see you on the next one.